In the Module 2 lecture, we are going to focus on writing an IEP that focuses on transition. Once a student enters high school, the goals and objectives should be focused on supporting the student's long-term measurable post-secondary goals. Each student comes to us with unique strengths, interests, and aspirations. Some dream of attending college, others envision careers in skills trades, entrepreneurship, or service. Our responsibility is not to fit students into a single pathway, but to help each one define and pursue their own. That means aligning learning with clear, measurable outcomes, outcomes that reflect where the student wants to go after graduation. I will review the importance of a well-designed IEP as a foundation of success, how the IEP frames customized supports, and helps the student prepare for real-world challenges. We will examine what should go into the present levels of academic and functional performance, and how to address the measurable post-secondary goals in there. Writing the measurable post-secondary goals, course of study, and transition services and activities. Lastly, we will examine annual goals and how they can be stepping stones towards a student's long-term goals in life. Writing effective IEPs focused on secondary transition provides a roadmap for students with disabilities, ensuring they have the necessary support and resources to achieve their full potential and lead fulfilling, independent lives. Using the language of the transitional framework, live their best life, and interdependently as possible. The importance of crafting well-designed IEPs in this context can be outlined through several key points. It sets a foundation for success. A well-written transition IEP lays a solid foundation for the student's future success by providing a clear, structured plan that addresses their individual needs, strengths, and goals. It helps ensure there are necessary supports and resources in place as the student moves through high school. Due process requires legal compliance and student advocacy. High-quality IEPs ensures compliance with the Individuals with Disabilities Act and other relevant regulations. This not only protects the rights of students, but also empowers them to advocate for themselves and their needs. Students being taught how to advocate for themselves is essential for them to be successful in each of the three measurable post-secondary areas. A good IEP lays clear objectives and benchmarks. Effective IEPs include specific, measurable post-secondary goals and annual goals, which are steps required to achieve them. This clarity helps students, parents, and educators stay focused and track progress over time. Looking at customized support, high-quality transition IEPs are tailored to each student's unique situation, ensuring they receive personalized support and services that align with their aspiration and challenges. It builds on skill development. Transition IEPs emphasize the development of crucial life skills, such as job readiness, independent living, social skills, and academic preparation. This comprehensive approach equips students with the tools they need to thrive in adult life. Interagency collaboration is essential for the future success of the student. Well-crafted IEPs facilitate collaboration between schools, families, and external agencies. This coordinated effort ensures that students have access to a wide range of resources and services, such as vocational rehabilitation and community-based support programs. As a case manager, you will need to monitor and make adjustments annually, or more often if necessary. A good IEP includes mechanisms for ongoing monitoring and regular reviews. This allows for timely adjustments to the plan based on the student's evolving needs and circumstances, ensuring continuous support and guidance. Preparation for real-world challenges. Effective transition IEPs prepare students for real-world challenges by addressing practical issues like job searching, financial management, and navigating adult services. This preparation helps bridge the gap between school and adulthood. This leads to enhanced outcomes. Ultimately, well-written transition IEPs lead to better post-secondary outcomes, including higher rates of employment, successful completion of higher education, vocational training, and greater independence in adult life. Parental and student involvement is essential. Engaging parents and students in the IEP process is critical. Good IEPs actively involve them in goal setting and decision making, fostering a sense of ownership and responsibility for the student's future. When addressing transition in the present levels, you should largely address information pertinent to the annual goals, or if initially reporting on transition, report information discovered from the transition section of the evaluation. In the present levels of the IEP, you should have a summary of the graduation plan for the student. Include the opportunities, activities, and the experiences needed for the student to achieve their measurable post-secondary goals, as well as a list of supplemental activities that also appear in the transition services and activities section of the IEP. The impact statement should describe how the student's disability affects their transition needs and how they present across settings, which include home, community, and school. Every IEP is required to include information from the parents, guardians, and student. Since they are with the student most of the time, it is important to get their perspective about a number of topics, including how the student presents in the community, how they think their child's disability impacts them, and to address their students' needs, strengths, and preferences. You can relate this information in 3 areas of transition in the present levels. Include transition information from the most recent comprehensive evaluation and progress updates on that information based on the services, interventions, and activities. These updates should include the ongoing accomplishments of the students' transition activities. If the students transfer to another school, the new case manager should be able to pick up the IEP, read it, and understand the students' current levels as well as the history of how they got to this point. Technically speaking, do not copy and paste the transition section of the evaluation or old IEP PLAF. New IEPs need to be updated information. I encounter this a lot, and it does the student a disservice. The IEP is an important document. It is also a legal document that can result in litigation. The best advice I can give you is to ensure that you have done your due diligence in assuring that it is clear and concise as it can be, since your name is attached to it. By the time the student graduates, the PLAP should be a complete history of the student's success and accomplishments toward preparing to meet their post-secondary goals. It does not need to be multiple pages long, but when you provide it to a student and family at the summary performance meeting, they will be taking it with them as a tool that they can use in multiple ways beyond high school or a transition program. Outside of the present levels, there are 3 areas to cover transition in the IEP: the measurable post-secondary goals, course of study, and the transition services and activities. In the next 3 slides, I will review each in detail, but take a moment to review this slide. The measurable post-secondary goals should be appropriate for the student and have the probability of being successfully accomplished, and the student has stated they want to work towards those goals. Ultimately, the goals, measurable post-secondary goals, should drive programming, as will be discussed in the next slide about course of study. The student with a disability ultimate goal is to leave high school, college, and career ready, and these goals are the reason the student is receiving services they are. The education and training goal need to address college, internships, training programs like apprenticeships, shadowing experiences, on-the-job trainings, or on-this-job trainings and trade schools. In the present levels, describe the student's functioning, interests, and achievements in this area by covering their career and college planning, knowledge of college programs, tuition costs, financial aid, knowledge of trade schools, and knowledge of training and education required for career fields of interest and the requirements for certain programs. The employment goal needs to be geared toward a specific career field the student is seeking training for, or a specific job the student would like to have while the training in a training program, or a job the student is seeking to have greater than 6 months. In the present levels, describe the student's functioning, interests, and experiences in employment by covering informal work. Examples for that can include chores and internships, on-the-job trainings, job shadowing, volunteer opportunities they participated in, competitive employment, applications completed, interviews or interviewing skills they practiced. The independent living goal is about all aspects of gaining independence, including living at home, rec and leisure, community participation, and the student will require specialized instruction and annual goals in order to achieve. These goals can continue following graduation. In the present levels, describe the student's functioning and experiences in the areas of home living by covering chores, housekeeping and maintenance, planning and preparing meals, budgeting, hygiene, laundry, paying bills, buying items they need, and knowledge of housing options. Community participation, like describe the student's functioning and experiences, how they access the community, such as buses, metro mobility, parents, friends, ride shares, rec and leisure activities and preferences like sports, hobbies, where they like to go to school or would like to go for fun. I would like to share some examples of measurable post-secondary goals. Like stated earlier, they need to be specific. For education and training, here's one goal. Nick will attend a 2-year college for business. Here's another one. Nick will receive an apprenticeship for HVAC. Another one. Joe will attend a 4-year university to study computer science. Lastly, Jose will attend Job Corps for automotive repair. Another example for employment can be Nick will work as a cashier at Hy-Vee, or Joe will work as a pipe fitter within the pipe fitter apprenticeship program. Lastly, Jose will work as a car salesman at Brookdale Honda. Examples of independent living goals can be Joe will independently maintain personal hygiene by following the established hygiene routine. Nick will use the city bus to access the community. Or Jose will use his Planet Fitness membership 4 days a week. Course of study means the specific subjects, classes, or training program a student chooses to take to prepare for their future career or to complete their educational goals. Listing a course of study helps the IEP team be planned and purposeful and aligns the student's goal with the skills they need to succeed on that path. When writing an IEP, the course of study must include the current school year and the following school year and the subjects the student is taking. Previous school years are not required to be on the IEP, but best practice dictates that it should. This way, there is a running record from 9th grade until the student graduates as to what classes they took documented on the IEP. Classes listed for the student should reflect their post-secondary goals, not simply classes required for graduation. The classes should relate and support the student's education and training, employment, and independent living goals. For compliance reasons, classes listed must reflect course offerings at the school and be precise. All classes should reflect a correlation to the student's post-secondary goals. Also listed in this section is the anticipated month and year of graduation. Depending on the student's needs, this could be the end of their 12th grade year. In some cases, the student will go to a transition program following high school. Transition programs are for students who are 18 to 22. Ideally, the conversation about a transition program is discussed by 11th grade, if not sooner. You can estimate the student's month and year of graduation if they plan on going to a transition program. Transition services and activities are a coordinated set of practical steps designed to help students with disabilities successfully transition from high school to adult life, including independent living, employment, and post-secondary education. These should also correlate to the measurable post-secondary goals. The section for instruction should include formal classes or specialized training. Examples include self-advocacy classes, functional academics, or college prep courses. The activity would be attend classes and complete class assignments. And the agency responsible would be the school district. The section for development of employment and other post-school adult living objectives should include activities aimed at career development and job skills. Examples include job shadowing, creating a resume, or participating in a work-study program. Under agency, connecting with adult service agencies like vocational rehab, you would include the contact information for a representative. You can also make a list of items the student can complete, like complete job applications, practical interview skills. Under agency here, you would put VRS as well as the school district again, since you would help the student with some of the items on this list. Under the service, community experiences or community participation activities can include hands-on participation in the community. Examples include bus training, using the public library, or shopping independently. Again, under the agency responsible, you put who can help with this. School district, or for example, you can list programs that aid in supporting adults with disabilities like MCIL with their contact information. Two things that should be listed in the present levels are the activities you list in this section, as well as items from previous IEP that have been accomplished should be listed in the PLAF. This helps keep a running record in one spot of all the information a family can leave with. Any person or agency listed as responsible for providing the instruction, service, or activities must be present at the IEP meeting and agree to provide those services. Other advice that I can give you includes activities and experiences in this section should be measurable, one and done experiences, like a checklist, employment portfolio, skill interest inventory, career exploration project. In this section, we are going to look at the difference between measurable post-secondary goals and an annual IEP goal. Measurable post-secondary goals describe where the student plans to live, learn, and work after leaving high school. They are measurable beyond graduation, versus annual goals, which describe the specific academic, functional, or vocational skill the student needs to learn within one school year to make progress towards their post-secondary goals. Annual goals are goals that the student can attain in 1 year. The IEP is technically a 1-year document. The goals and objectives should be attainable in this amount of time. These goals should be related to the 3 areas of transition: employment, post-secondary education, and independent living. Reading, math, organization, independent work skills, social skills, and behavior goals all support future outcomes, as the examples below will illustrate. Annual goals are the stepping stones to getting to and accomplishing the measurable post-secondary goals. Annual goals build the specific and measurable skills needed to reach the final goal the student is ultimately striving to achieve. Here is an example. I will read the student's post-secondary goals. I will attend a college or program that offers certificates for being a vet assistant. I will apply to be a vet assistant at a veterinarian clinic, and I will access the community using Metro Transit. Now, possible work experience goal is an annual goal could be student will increase employment skills from limited non-paid work experience training to completing the necessary steps required to locate, apply, and interview for a part-time job. Notice how this is a step in the direction to applying to be a vet assistant that can be accomplished in 1 year time. Now, if a student has needs in the area of reading, the goal can be based on the need to increase comprehension. For example, the student will increase their Lexile from 700 to 850 by next annual review. Again, notice how this is achievable in 1 year time, and it supports the long-term measurable post-secondary goal the student has for becoming a vet assistant. At the center of each goal is the student and their future plans and desires. The measurable post-secondary goals are a requirement on all special education students' IEPs when they turn 14 or enter 9th grade, whichever one comes first. Ultimately, all IEPs are transition IEPs because the purpose of school is to get the student college and career ready. The path our students with disabilities can look significantly different than a student taking a typical path towards graduation. In Module 3, I will review the different pathways students on an IEP can earn a diploma. I created this graphic to help visualize how the inner circle, measurable post-secondary goals, can relate to the broader annual goals. I added self-advocacy to the inner circle because that is the skill that we as case managers are helping our students with on a daily basis. We are training our students how to advocate for themselves in an educational setting, which can carry over to self-advocating in the workplace and the community. You may be very surprised by how many of your most vocal students still cannot bring themselves to order for themselves at a restaurant. As our students get older, the importance of them taking a more active role in their decision-making for post-secondary life is essential to their future. Even more so, students knowing and understanding how their disability impacts them in school and in the community and at home is an essential skill that they need to learn.